Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel Minecraft with Rudra, and today I will be showing or rather continuing another episode of Redstone how to. In today's episode we will be learning how to use, hopefully at least trying to understand the basics of how to use a redstone comparator. So this is a redstone comparator. If you remember the previous episode, I told you about redstone repeaters. Now, one thing that they both have in common is that you can see they have sort of like an arrow. If you can see, I'll see if I can capture it. This one has a small arrow pointing towards this direction. So does this one have an arrow pointing towards this direction. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. Second thing that I wanted to say is redstone comparators. As you can see, these things that are there on the redstone comparator and the redstone repeater, they look similar to something. Do you want to take a guess? That's right. It looks just like a redstone torch. Now, if you see, when I turn these on, somewhat like this, they look the exact same, except in a smaller version, right? And moreover, there's a small texture like change. You can see that these particles are white and creamy color, right? But if I put this on, it turns like this, and there is a more of a reddy color, like reddish pinkish color at the center, right? It looks similar to a white strawberry. So moving on from the general appearance, a redstone comparator has two features. Prominently, the first feature, which is the addition feature or the normal feature, and the second feature, which is the subtraction feature, which is how you toggle this is, if I'm not wrong, in the computers you just tap it like with your right, you just right click it, and if you're using a phone, that is how I am using, you just tap it and you can see it makes a noise similar to what a pressure plate would make a sound as. So now that is the subtract mode like this, and that can be used for a bunch of things such as a redstone clock. Now moving on from this, a comparator does exactly what it sounds like it does. It compares a signal. Now, unlike redstone repeaters, if you remember, I concluded my video with a redstone repeater will not take a signal from the side, right? But a redstone comparator, you would expect it to do the same, but wrong. A redstone comparator does a different function. As you can see, it connects to the redstone comparator. You can keep pulses from all four sides. That's the interesting part about this. So, but I'll be using only two sides. And one more thing I'd like to add to my first bit of my series about redstone, general redstone. So when you keep a lever, when you keep a lever and you turn it on, how much do you think the signal strength for this is? This very piece of redstone is. So it's if you remember, a redstone runs for 15 pieces of redstone, right? So the easy way I remember it is that if it goes for 15, so the first block must have a signal strength of 15, as you would assume, and that is correct in fact. So equipped with that piece of knowledge, we can tell that if I keep something here and I keep a piece of redstone here, we can see that it is not going, because this is 15 and then this becomes 14, right? Correct? But same if I do this, yeah, so if I do this though and increase this, and you can see that this is two pieces of redstone and this is two pieces of redstone. If I on both of these, you can see since they are equal, it turns on. So same if I turn this off and I on and off this, it goes regularly, though it has a small amount of delay, as you can notice. Right. So it compares these two signals. Now both these two signals are the same. So it will compare the signal strength and it will take the output and input and give out the output rather. Now how would you use this practically, you would say? So it's more like a calculator like function, as you would think. So let me just remove this redstone from here so that we can demonstrate without any hindrance. Right, so now that that's gone, I can show you better. Right, so now we have the redstone comparator, and I'm keeping one piece of redstone here. So this would give a signal strength of 15 into the comparator, correct? So if I keep 2 pieces of redstone here and do this, what do you think will happen? Nothing, because this is the primary signal of redstone. So if the primary is getting interrupted by a stronger signal, then that is from the side, only then will it. So for example, this is the primary input. So the primary input will always be on unless from the side it is stronger. I hope you can understand what I am saying. So same way, if I make it so that this is increased and this is decreased, you can say this ons it, and this also makes it remain on. Why does this happen? Because this is lesser and this is higher. Now if I keep it on the second mode, you can see that there is a significant difference on the second mode. So using the same structure, I will be demonstrating the subtract mode. So we have 2 pieces of it coming through, correct? So if this is 15 and 14, right? So this is 14. We will not consider 15. This is 15. We will not consider that. We'll be considering what is directly into the comparator. And this will be 15. So if I keep a redstone here, it does not power on addition mode. But on subtraction mode, I am pretty sure that it must get powered. One moment. Okay, so that 14 minus 15 is not going to happen. So that activates it because this is full 15 signal strength. So if I do this, it completely turns off because this becomes 14 minus 14, which becomes both is 0. But if I do the same by adding one more over here and I do this, you can see that it still powers it, but it's very light, correct? Same if I do this and add, let's say, many pieces of redstone and then on this, right? It does not give the signal strength. Why? Any guesses? No? Okay. It does not give the signal strength because of the first feature which I mentioned, that is this power cord, this cord which is going right here. It's stronger than the other line. That's why it is not powering it. But the same if I, and for the and the same would happen if I add more on this side, it would consider it and do it. Right? So one important thing about the subtract feature is that when you're, let me just destroy this so that it's not confusing. Okay, wait one moment please. Yeah, so we can see that both the levers are on and this signal strength. So if you want to find out how much the signal strength is, we have, this is 15 and this is 15 over here. So 15, 14, 13, 12 and this must be 11. So if that is 11 minus 15, let me not embarrass myself, I'm not too good at math, but that would go somewhere, 1 second. Either ways, we don't need to know the answer, we just know that it's lesser. So that's the subtract feature. So moving forward, we can, one important thing would be that on this side, how much ever we add, it will have to be that the main input, right? So this is the main input. wherever the arrow is facing, the behind bit of the arrow is the main input. Only this main input cannot be manipulated. This main input cannot be manipulated. But because if it is manipulated, then the other input, if you're having two inputs, right, and you manipulate this input like so, right, it will not work, because this input has to be stronger than the side input. Because if it is not stronger than the side input, then what happens is the current will not flow through, especially in the subtract mode. In the add mode, it does not make a difference, except if it is more longer like so. One moment, I'm forgetting it. Okay, no, in the add picture, it does not make a difference, but in the subtract way, it does. It compares both of the signals. Now, moving forward, that's the main use of the comparator, how you can use it, right? It subtracts like this. You can see that it's subtracted both the things, and like this it has added it. So it's not just this side, you can do it even on this side. And if I put something over here like this, it makes it even darker. If you observe this, right, let me do this. So you can see that's bright, and you can see it's become darker. It's just a tad bit darker, but it is dark enough, but it is still having the energy to power this piston, which means it's still on, correct? Now, so that is the main feature as such of the redstone comparator. Now, if you remember in the last episode, I showed you this, a redstone clock. Now, if I destroy this, and wait, I think I did not do that right. Okay, so we can see that this is going on like this, and it keeps going on, right? But what if we want, what do you do if, so eventually these arrows are going to run out, but it will still keep on going on, and that annoying dispenser sound keeps coming on, right? What do? You have to use a clock, the same clock, but we will be using this clock for something else, with something else rather, and that clock can be made with a redstone comparator. Now, how exactly does this happen? You need to put it like this. So, what is happening is the input is going like this, it goes like this, it goes like this, and it comes back into this. So, it repeats itself again and again, forming a redstone repeater. Now, another way of saying it would be that the signal strength from here would go to its full signal strength. When it goes to the side, it becomes lesser, and when you go around it, it becomes even lesser. So eventually we would get something which would make it into a, one moment guys.